Oh, I'm just saying that anytime I hear the word or the name Tasha, I can't help but think of Star Trek. Um, yeah, Next Generation. I don't know, came out maybe the 90s. Oh, yeah, you weren't even born yet. But it just makes, there's a character on the show named Tasha Yar, and it makes me think of uh, maybe her on the Enterprise going around collecting up magic items. Hey, that actually might be a pretty cool idea. Maybe I need to dust off my Spelljammer stuff and have my players run that with a character, Tasha, on the ship going around finding magic items. Spelljammer? Yeah, that was also before you were born. God, I'm getting old. Hey guys, GameMasters here, and today we're checking out Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's a new book that comes out for your D&D game campaign. It's released on November 17th. There's a few other things too that come out on the 17th that I'm also going to cover. So we've got a lot of information to go over. We've got Great Dalmuti. I'll show you that in a little bit. That's a D&D themed version of the game. There is the Dungeon Masters Screen Wilderness Kit, which is also that up there. And of course, the Tasha's Guide to Everything. There's both the regular version as well as collector's cover version. So let's jump into what's all in the book. It's broken down, the book itself is broken down into 4 chapters. First chapter is going to have, it's the new subclass, the Artificer class, which is basically a class that allows you to create magic items. There's other information in there as well, and it also offers feats for groups that use them. So there's new feats as well. Chapter 2 is what they call patrons. Basically, if you've ever played an online game and you belong to a guild, that's basically what they're referring to as patron. It's a crafty way to bring your group and your party together. So let's say you all went to the same academy, or like in a game like Assassin's Creed, for example. All of the assassins belong to the same creed. So that's essentially what they're referring to when they talk about patrons. Chapter 3 is, of course, magic items. Lots and lots of magic items. And Chapter 4, and I'm just going over these real quick. We'll go into a little bit further detail in a bit. Chapter 4 is different rules that the DM can use to incorporate into a campaign. And it ends with a collection of puzzles ready to be made and handed out to players. Well, as this says, deployed in any adventure that the DM would like to spice up with some puzzling. Any game that I've ever run has run across puzzles. The players have run across various puzzles, whether it's a riddle or a random key that they just find that they have to figure out where the lock goes to. Puzzles are always a part of any game that I've run, so it's kind of neat to see something like that in here. The downside is if a player gets their hands on it, they're going to automatically know how to solve the puzzle. So a crafty DM is going to take what's in here and make it their own. So let's take a look a little bit more in depth with the chapters. Chapter 1, again, as I said, has various character options and also goes into detail about the Artificer. And the artwork in this, like any other book that they've come out with, is just amazing. I'll show you, like right here. I mean, it's just awesome artwork. The Wizards has great talent that they bring in to add artwork to their books. In the first chapter of the book, you have, of course, your artificer, but there's also other subclass options for barbarians, bards. I mean, all of your main classes. Paladins, rangers, rogues. There is an optional class feature, for example, for rogue called the Phantom. Let's just check that one out. It just jumped out at me. It's on page 62. And where is Phantom? Okay. So, at third level, a rogue gains the Roguish Archetype feature, which offers you the choice of a subclass. The following options are available to you when making that choice: the Phantom and the Soul Knife. Both sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Phantom, you basically are a master of macabre techniques. It sounds like you might have to forego a little bit of alignment if you're on the upper tier of alignment. Looks like it'd be best suited for like your neutral or evil. Chapter 2, group patrons. Again, like I said, this is a way for the DM to kind of bring the whole party together, the group together. It would be something like maybe a criminal syndicate. Maybe you all belong to a syndicate. Maybe you're all part of the same guild. Maybe you are, I don't know, of a religious order. Or maybe you are under a king's sovereign rule, and that's why you are all together. Different patrons, and that's what they all refer to as patrons, different patron groups are going to give you different perks. So, for example, let's say you are a part of a criminal syndicate. There's the Thieves Guild, Assassin Society, Magic Arms Dealers, etc. But let's assume that you're part of an Assassin Society. It says here, the network's livelihood is death. Members of the society hone their skills as cutthroats, poisoners, body disposal specialists, and any other profession focused on ending lives. The society is motivated by profits or labors in service to a greater cause. And the benefit that you get from that, you get assignments. So basically it's a quick way to make money. There are different tables that, again, you could make random rolls to determine exactly what's going to happen. There are some specific quests. Basically, you could do a heist or acquisition and retrieval. So let's say you need to go and kill someone to get a crystal skull, bring it back. That would be one example. Chapter 3, Magic Items. Some of these we've seen before. Some of them are completely new. The whole point of this book, the wizard Tasha has gone around and collected magic items from all over the place. The book touts her as being the most powerful wizard ever. I'll show my age a little bit again, as if you can't tell by the gray. In my day, Elminster was, from Forgotten Realms. He was the most powerful wizard, although I understand he later in life became a cartographer. But anyway, in this book, Tasha is the most powerful wizard, and she has gone around collecting various magic items, and that within itself could easily be a campaign where the players are now under her rule or employed by her, however you see fit as a DM to run it, to collect even more magic items. And perhaps she'll grant use of some of her magic items to help the players along the way. But the magic items in Chapter 3, they're cool just like anything else. I mean, magic items are very prevalent throughout Dungeons & Dragons. Crystalline Chronicle. This is a wondrous item and is very rare. It's an etched crystal sphere show you a picture of it there. It's an etched crystal sphere about the size of a grapefruit, hums faintly and pulses with irregular flares of inner light. It functions as a spell book, and while you're holding the crystal, you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. Has 3 charges. It regains those charges, or regains 1d3 charges daily at dawn. And if you spend 1 minute studying the information within the crystal, you can expend 1 charge to replace one of your prepared wizard spells with a different spell in the crystal. When you cast a wizard spell, you can expend 1 charge to cast the spell without verbal, somatic, or material components of up to 100 gold piece value. And that's something. How many DMs out there actually force your players to use the verbal, somatic, or material components when casting spells? That was something that, I don't know, whenever I played, we never really dealt with. That was almost like, gosh, remember back when you had encumbrance? You couldn't carry around 50,000 gold coins with you, unless it would, otherwise it would slow you down. But we kind of got around that by using bag of holding. Anyway, just curious if DMs still require, I don't require my players to keep up with somatic or material components. Verbal, okay. Chapter 4. This is the Dungeon Master's tool. Players, if you're getting this book, avoid this. But DMs getting the book, and do keep in mind, everything in here is optional. You don't have to, let me show you some more artwork here. You don't have to use this book if you choose not to. It's just purely optional. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, but Chapter 4 is the Dungeon Master's tools. This is basically what rules the DM would need in order to convert some of the stuff over to be used with other elements that show up in the book. Especially with the Artificer class. There's various elements in here about game customization, house rules. There are also tables in here in this section. Goes into some details about bonus proficiencies, spell casting, pets, and also sidekicks and supernatural environments. All in all, I'm pretty certain that this book is perhaps one of the most anticipated books of the year for Dungeons and Dragons. If you like a magic heavy campaign, I can easily see this being a very necessary book. No, not necessary, as I said. It is optional, but it would be a very fun book to incorporate into your campaign. I'm going to flip through and show y'all some of the awesome artwork. We've got a mushroom here. Let me find, we've got that. Find some full page artwork. I've not seen any errors in the book. The binding is great. There's some more artwork. There is a full page piece of artwork there. There we go. Oh, also too, as mentioned, there's also, in addition to this cover, there's also the collector's cover. There you are, side by side. I'm also doing a giveaway. If you want a chance at this, it's real simple. All you got to do is subscribe, leave a comment below about what your favorite magic item is. Doesn't have to be a magic item from this book, just your favorite magic item in general. And why was it your favorite? I'm just curious. So leave a comment below what's your favorite magic item and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll pick a random person and ship this one out to them. It's that simple. Now, for the other stuff, real quick. Great Dalmuti also releases out on November 17th. This is the D&D version of it. It basically, you know how Monopoly has reskinned several of their games for various colleges? Well, that's what this is, essentially. It is a D&D version of Great Dalmuti. I will show you the box itself contains one rule book and 80 game cards, and the back give you a chance there to read it. Basically, it's the Great Dalmuti. I mean, anybody that has ever played the original, you're going to get a kick out of playing this one as well. And then there is also the Dungeon Master Screen Wilderness Kit that also comes out on the 17th of November. This contains a couple of different things. I'll show you the screen in a minute, but it has a little cardboard box that you actually punch out and or a cardboard, it's a sheet of paper or a sheet of cardboard that you punch out and create into a box that holds cards. These are punch out cards, and each one of them has different things listed on them. So if you want to do a complete random scenario, for example, if, let's see, this is for your initiative, if you wanted to determine whether or not you were going to play in a poisoned environment or a restrained environment, or one that was in extreme heat or extreme cold, you could randomly choose a card and go through that scenario. There are also some hex maps, double-sided hex maps. These are made out of, or it looks like they have a coating on them that would be, or that would be made useful with the dry erase marker. There are a supply tracker, and of course tables, wilderness journeys and wilderness tables for the DM, and the different, it's kind of a cheat sheet for a DM, actions that you can take in combat. And then the screen itself is huge. It's so big my camera won't really show the whole thing. I feel kind of remiss. I mean, I really want to show you all the inside of it, but I kind of don't at the same time, because I don't really want to give anything away. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of getting this. What I will do is I'll show you the first panel right there, and it has various things in it, such as setting a difficulty challenge, tracking your difficulty challenges, what kind of damage you could do, object hit points, basic stuff that's in almost every DM screen. And of course, you know, as a DM, I can't release all of the information as to what goes on behind those screens. There's a lot of top secret stuff. DMs know that. Anyway, guys, that is all of the new stuff from D&D that's coming out on the 17th. As mentioned, if you want a chance at this, subscribe, leave a comment about what your favorite magic item is, and we'll let this run for exactly, well, let's see, it releases on the 17th, so why don't we let this go until the 15th, and I'll announce a winner around noon on the 15th of November and let you guys know. Until then, this is GameMasters. Game on.